Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Up the U's, the channel dedicated to my love and hopefully your love, all things Colchester United. As always, please head over to our Twitter and Instagram pages at Up the U's Official, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, before we start today's episode, I just want to say commiserations to the Lionesses. You accomplished something that hasn't been done since 1966, and that was allowing the media and all of us to say England are in a World Cup final. You have made the nation proud and are an inspiration to all young girls wanting to play football. Well done, ladies. Now moving over to our game on Tuesday night against AFC Wimbledon. We welcome former U's midfield maestro Johnny Jackson's side to Essex for our first home game of the season. Spirits were high around the ground before the game. Team sheet was released an hour or so before kickoff, and a new signing was also announced before the game in Mandala Egbo. It looked a strong side, and for some, including myself, it was the first look at the new players, Goodman, Lawrence, Bandera and Taylor. But what followed was nothing short of a horror show. Wimbledon started the game strong when right midfielder James Tilley fizzed the ball across the face of goal towards Wimbledon's number 10, Al Hamadi. Luckily, Nico Lawrence was there at the last second to put the striker off. The ball then gets recycled and crossed back into the U's box towards Al Hamadi again, and his headed shot goalwards forces Goodman into a smart save, only for it to fall back to James Tilley, but this time skipper Connor Hall was there to make the block. A few minutes later, Colchester had their first shot of 4 on target when Arthur Reed picks the ball up just inside the Dons half and drives forward, playing a beautiful ball through for big man John Akinde to run onto. John takes a slight touch to shield the ball from the onrushing defender, takes his shot only for it to be saved by keeper Alex Bass. If John had known that Joe was there, a little backheel into this space and Taylor might have scored. Now Wimbledon are really starting to pile on the pressure. Once again, James Tilley picks the ball up on the right, starts running towards goal, cuts inside captain Connor Hall and takes a shot with his left foot, hard and low, forcing Goodman to make another good save. The ball then comes back out from Goodman's save, but this time Tom Dallison is there to clear the ball away. On the 34th minute of the game, Colchester had their best chance. Fevrier attacks down the left-hand side, sending 2 Dons players to the shop for a meal deal, and then picks out Joe Taylor on the edge of the box. Taylor is able to take his time and fires his shot goalwards, only for it to hit the bottom of the post and go out for a goal kick. The second half started and Colchester actually came out of the game swinging, and for the first few minutes looked like they might nick a goal. However, on the 54th minute, left midfielder Josh Nerville manages to get a drilled low cross in, and who is there at the back post to tap it into an empty goal? James Tilley. At that point, the Dons were happy and started to, now I'm not going to say waste time, as that's now just gets added on, so I'll say play the game. And then on comes Harry Pell, a player that U's fans know loves to play the game. Then in the 85th minute, Pell closes down new man Egbo and gives it to Nerville, who runs into the middle of the pitch and plays the ball out wide to, you guessed it, James Tilley, who takes on Connor Hall and fires the ball under the right leg of Goodman to make it 2-0. Colchester did get the ball in the back of the net though. Well, kinda. Reed took a corner and finds Lawrence at the back post. He then heads it back goalwards and up jumps Bradley Eijhoven with his best impression of the late great Diego Maradona at the 1986 World Cup and pulls off the hand of Eijhoven. But unfortunately, the ref, all the Dons players around him, and pretty much everyone in the South Stand saw him do it, and the goal is ruled out and Bradley then gets booked. All in all, a night to forget for U's fans. In an interview after the game on Colu TV, Ben Garner gave his thoughts and wasn't happy with the performance by saying, "Apart from young Jaden, I don't think anyone was at their level." Later on in the interview, Garner was asked if it's easier or harder to get the lads going for Saturday's game, and he responded by saying, "It was so bad tonight, I'm not going to sugarcoat it," and then apologised to us fans. For me, my man of the match for this game was Jaden Fevrier. Like Garner said, in a team where everyone wasn't up to scratch, Jaden really shined bright and is really looking like a handful this year. If you want to have a look at the game from an away fan's point of view, I'll leave a link in the description to Reese's TV. He done a matchday vlog and was sitting in the away end. It's well worth a watch. Now we move over to Saturday's game against a team that used to be called Wimbledon back in the day, MK Dons. After Tuesday night's performance, I think all Colu fans were expecting some changes. We found out that new man Ellis Andalo will be facing some time out after picking up some ligament damage in his ankle. The team sheet was announced and it was slightly odd because we had Egbo, Fevere and Tamachu all starting, and it was also a first start for the youngster Bradley Ihovim. Once the game kicked off though, we were then able to see that we were playing in a sort of 4-4-2 formation with Junior and Jaden playing as the wingers. So the game starts and MK are on the front foot straight away. After just 9 minutes, wingback Cameron Norman crosses the ball towards Mo Issa, only for Nico Lawrence to block the cross with his right leg and then clear it with his left leg whilst laying on his back. Dallison then picks it up, goes to launch it down the field, only for Alex Gilby to block the cross. The ball then falls back out to Norman, who crosses it back in again for Issa. This time his headed shot goalwards goes underneath goalkeeper Goodman. Not a great start. 98 seconds later though, the U's pull one back. Chilvers gets the ball, plays it out wide to Jaden, who goes right, then goes left and drills the ball across the face of goal to the back stick where Joe Taylor bundles the ball back into the net. Great response from the U's. 4 minutes later and the ball is in the back of the MK net again. This time after Egbo takes a free kick quickly and finds Junior, he copies exactly what Jaden did from the left and fires a low cross into the box for Onrush and Joe Taylor to tap it in. 2-1 to the U's. Then in the 88th minute, heartbreak as former Colts United central midfielder Alex Gilby opens his account for the season and brings the ball down well, drives towards goal and then loops it over Goodman to make it 2-2. Now there is no footage online of the penalty incident, but I honestly have no idea how it wasn't given. Okay, the ref's view may have been obstructed, but the linesman's definitely wasn't. I sit in S4 towards the back and it was right in front of me. Thomas had the ball at his feet, shielding it from the MK defender, and there is no way that the player could have won the ball. A clear penalty for me. And also, the save at the end from Owen Goodman was outstanding. Again, no footage of that, but I even think the MK fans in the North Stand uttered the words, "How did he save that?" 11 minutes of added time, the most I've ever seen in a live game of football. Can the U's hold on to a 2-2 draw? No. When in the 100th minute, substitute Matt Dennis scores with a low shot from the edge of the box to give MK Dons all 3 points and leaving Col U fans distraught. A massive difference for the game on Tuesday night against Wimbledon, and I honestly think that the U's should have won that game. Not having another striker on the bench wasn't ideal, but Donnell Thomas looked really sharp when he came on. Man of the match on the day was given to Joe Taylor for scoring the 2 goals, but for me, it was Nico Lawrence. Nico is looking like a very strong centre-back and is happy with the ball at his feet, and he's more than happy to bring it forward, and has a really, really good range of passing on him. So for me, man of the match, Nico Lawrence. Again, as I said last week, we won't look at the table in too much depth just yet, but this is how it looks after just 3 games. Having seen the last 2 games, I think it's plain to see we really need to bring in a CDM. A player like Cole Scouse, Brandon Comley, even Owen Garvin, someone that's just there to shore up the midfield in the last stages. Anyway, a big week ahead of us as we prepare for the away trip to Gillingham. I'll be back next week with my views on that game. As always, please head over to our Twitter and Instagram pages at UpTheUs, and don't forget to like and subscribe.